So we are now joined by, I think, the founder of comicbook.com. He has his own podcast coming out called Phase Zero on January 15th, coinciding with the WandaVision first episode on Disney+. You can find him on Twitter at Brandon Davis BD. It is Brandon Davis. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us, man.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I can't take credit for being founder of Comic Book. I was there, in the earliest days, really, but I got to give credit to like Shannon Terry and Joe Blackman and Jim Viscardi and a couple people who came before me.
Yeah, I was trying to look that up because you had put on a post for when it was Stanley's birthday last week, and you were talking about like the camera and doing it all by yourself. So it sounds like
yeah, they kind of took a chance on me. I got lucky. I got in there as soon as I graduated college, and they were a very small site at the time.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, if we had video content, it was on me to get it done. So, but I can't. I wish I could take credit for being a founder, but I maybe if there was like a Mount Rushmore, maybe I'd be on that for Comic Book. But
integral part, yeah, integral part of comicbook.com. So you've got this podcast, Phase Zero, coming out on January 15th, the same day as WandaVision. What'd you make yesterday when they announced that there was going to be 9 episodes of WandaVision?
Man, that's like, it's been so long. First of all, that's good for my business. So like, from a business perspective, I'm excited because that's another week of content, and that's 3 more weeks because it started to sound like we were only going to get 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Even as a fan, I mean, it's been a year and a half now since we've seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, it's about time we get back, and now we're going to spend more time there than we thought, which is exciting. And I don't think these episodes are going to be very long. So that's it. I think it's nice to get a couple extra weeks of it, and to see how, now it's going into Spider-Man and it's going into Doctor Strange. So it'll be cool to see how that all ties together.
Well, not only that, because there's going to be the 9 episodes, and then almost immediately you're going to have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then that's probably going to lead like right into Loki. So we're going to go from,
it's basically 6 straight months of like weekly content from Marvel.
Like, we're getting riches now.
I mean, we're in the golden age of live action comic book stories. It's wild. It is wild.
So what's the one thing that, like, obviously there's some storylines that we kind of know about with WandaVision. What's the one thing that they could do that would completely blow your mind, a la like Luke Skywalker and The Mandalorian?
Well, I think it's going to come down to like other characters that show up, because I was reading Tom King's The Visions comic earlier this week. And there's just moments where like Vision goes off to fight with the Avengers and just comes home. And like, I think just moments like that, like just showing that this is like so much a part of the world and showing us like these other characters that we haven't seen in so long, that will go such a long way. I mean, with fans like me who like the interconnected world and like furthering the MCU as a whole, and showing that like the Avengers after Endgame really have assembled in a way that it's like just casual for them to go defeat a villain. Like, I think that could be cool. Like, you're just going to work for a day. Yeah. Like, imagine Scarlet Witch or Vision just have to leave, go to work, put down a villain, and come back. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all right, I just got to pack a briefcase full of my, like, superhero costumes, I guess. I don't know. And come home. That'd be cool. But, I mean, also just, like, I think the multiverse of it all, I think this is going to – I think there's a few surprises in the show along the way that will open up the multiverse in ways that the mainstream audience will understand how, like – the Tobey Maguire stuff can happen in Spider-Man 3, and maybe some of the X-Men franchise. I don't think they'll ever incorporate the X-Men franchise as it stood, but I think they'll acknowledge that they might acknowledge that it's like a parallel universe to the MCU, which would be cool.
Okay. That'd be really, really cool.
So you think they're going to do X-Men completely like separate from the normal MCU?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting like Ty Sheridan Cyclops and like Alexandra Shipp Storm ever again, but I think the X-Men are going to be in the MCU, but I think they'll acknowledge that like the Fox X-Men exist out there, and maybe for Secret Wars they'll bring back Hugh Jackman or something. Like the good parts of it.
Yeah, not the Dark Phoenix parts of it. Like
not how it ended.
Like the last few.
Yeah, that was a rough one. But speaking of the multiverse, we had news yesterday from DC about their multiverse. Can you make heads or tails of what the hell DC is doing right now?
No. they're just kind of going. I mean, like, I think they need to do the opposite of try to be Marvel because
Exactly.
that's what has worked best for them. Like allow it when Man of Steel is one of my favorite comic book movies in general, let alone DC movies. It's my favorite DC movie since like the Man of Steel kicked off the DCEU. It's my favorite one of that whole bunch. But they've shown like that they do best when they just tell stories. Like the interconnected stuff hasn't worked for them so far. So I think just like doing, whether it's Joker level of standalone or it's Wonder Woman / Aquaman / Shazam / Birds of Prey level of standalone, like just tell the stories. And when you need to, when the story calls for it, just throw the other characters in there, because now we had Joss Whedon Justice League come out, and then we're going to have Zack Snyder's Justice League come out. Which one counts? I don't care. For me, Zack Snyder's Justice League counts, but I don't care. Like, and the average moviegoer isn't really going to know. I just want to see more cohesive, like, good stories with these characters, because some filmmakers are doing a really good job, but just let the filmmakers do their job.
Well, that's what they're doing. Like, they're basically, if Flash like called for Michael Keaton's Batman to somehow work into the story, and like that made sense, and they're just telling the story there, they're basically just saying like, oh, Michael Keaton has had a good run of it. Let's just, everyone loves the original Batman. Let's just dump him into a movie and try to get some press on it.
People like it.
Yeah, like
I love Ben's Batman though. That kind of pisses me off. Like, I mean, I love Keaton's Batman, but I personally think Ben's Batman is going to die so that he doesn't get like the Ewan McGregor treatment, where for years and years and years and years and years he is asked, "Are you going to play Obi-Wan again?"
Yeah.
Like, everyone will ask him for the rest of his career at every press event he ever goes to, "Are you going to play Batman again?" If I work at comicbook.com for the rest of my life, you can bet that as soon as I'm about to interview Ben Affleck, my boss is going to text me and be like, "Yo, ask him if he's going to play Batman again."
My Batman, is he doing it? But it's like, so will they kill him? Because they can't. They're not going to just like get him to film something and be like, "Here's your scene where you die." Like, it's going to have to be something where it's like he died off screen, which doesn't feel like even that you can do with a character like Batman. Like, that just it feels weird.
Iron Man did that, right? Like, they went and filmed an extra scene to.
But they were still cool with Robert Downey Jr. Like,
right.
Ben Affleck, I don't think is going to be super happy about that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it seemed like when the news came out, right? But like, what was it, like a day before DC Fandom, that Ben was playing Batman again, or a couple days before? Like the way Andy Muschietti described it was just like it's a small role, but it's an emotional and pivotal role. So my mind was immediately like, oh well, they're gonna kill him, and then Barry's gonna be like, oh, he was my only friend. I can maybe save him and save my mom, and then he's gonna meet like Michael Keaton's Batman or something. I don't know. I trust Andy, dude. He did such a good job with it. Like, he's such a good director. So, but who knows? Maybe the Flash movie will actually ever get made. That movie's been in development for like 100 years now.
It seems so weird right now. We literally have like 3 Batmans. We've got Robert Pattinson, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and then
just all kind of out there.
And you have 2 Suicide Squad movies now. You're going to have the one coming out in August, and you have...
Because technically, the first one doesn't, like...
The first one just doesn't count anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's not canon. And it's... Yeah, like, that's... Like, we're sitting here talking about it yesterday, and I'm just like, what I assume is it's not canon anymore, but, like, they don't... That's my problem right now with DC is they are so reactionary and just on a whim where they just don't have an overall plan.
I think it's more of like a Warner Brothers is reactionary.
Okay.
And I think that's shown in like their choice to dump everything on HBO Max in 2021. Like, I mean, they're going to get a boost in subscribers, but I can't imagine that is of value that those movies would have been, even if they waited a little bit longer or released them in an uncertain kind of theater landscape. I think that hurts a lot of relationships with filmmakers. Like, these are just things that it's hard to imagine like a multi-billion-dollar company could not think that kind of thing through.
Right.
But with the reactions that we saw from so many filmmakers and theater chains and stuff, it's just, and some fans, I mean, some people were happy, some people weren't. So I don't know if that was the reaction they were looking for, and then will it be the outcome they're looking for? I don't know.
It was a dumbfounding decision. Like,
I mean, I guess it'll really depend on like what happens with Wonder Woman in the next couple of movies, but
they haven't announced any subscriber numbers of like, hey, we got this many from that first weekend of Wonder Woman.
They probably won't. They'll just tell us like what % of their current subscribers are actually watching but like, because they said like some number had like watched a part of Wonder Woman in the first week or something.
I don't have HBO Max. Like, I I'm not like, I got to see Wonder Woman thanks to a screener from Warner Brothers. And then I was like, I don't need, the only thing I want HBO Max for is to watch Euphoria.
Yeah.
And so then, but when Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, I'm going to have to get it because I'm going to watch that.
This is not something I was thinking about earlier, but are there not rumors now that the Justice League Snyder Cut is going to be, because they said it's 4 1-hour episodes, but then weren't there rumors that it was going to be just 1 4-hour thing? Has that gone back and forth or what?
I thought they're doing both.
Yeah.
I thought you could
We
like
also
watch
talked
it.
about it going to theaters. So like, how do you release it in theaters if you're releasing it 1 episode at a time on HBO Max? Do you wait till we've already seen it and just want us to go buy a ticket? Do you release it and then hope we watch it week to week on HBO Max?
Yeah.
4 hours in a movie theater is a long time, though. That's a long time in a movie theater.
4 hours, yeah.
You have to do an intermission, and like, there's no way the theaters can want to do that.
Well, the last time I've seen a movie that had a intermission was Hateful Eight. They did a road show for Hateful Eight.
Yep, I went to one of those.
Yeah, like that was super cool, and it was like a cool experience to have that. But like, that was, I think, 3.5 hours long. It wasn't 4, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and it still felt like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
Long.
But I don't know. If there was ever a time where they could get away with it, it is right now because movie theaters need things to play.
Yeah.
So I feel like the movie theaters aren't in a position to say, you want an intermission? We don't want your movie. Like, I feel like at this point, if they said, here's a re-release of, I don't like some shit movie from 50 years ago, a movie theater might have to be less. Sorry.
They moved the Snyder Cut up to March, right?
Yes.
So it's like not really going to be shit out in March.
Yeah, what is it going to do? Compete with Morbius? Ooh.
Right.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, and it's going to cut right into James Bond because James Bond comes out early April.
Yeah,
supposedly.
if that happens.
So it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
But you have your podcast Phase Zero starting next Friday. What was kind of the genesis of doing your own podcast during the quarantine or during what is now COVID-19?
Yeah. Dude, this is the longest 2 weeks of our lives, right?
Yeah.
The podcast at Comic Book was something we actually were going to launch. Like, we were getting ready to launch it, I think, in March of last year. Like, we had just named it, and we were just going to start getting logos ready and all kinds of stuff. And then I think actually we were getting ready in late 2019 to launch it. And I was like, wait, let's just wait until we get closer to Black Widow because I don't want to just it's very Marvel centric. And it's going to be very Star Wars and DC, but we're going to have Marvel content. A lot of my followers are Marvel fans. So I figured, if I'm going to do a podcast, let's do a Marvel podcast. That's something I'm passionate about. That's something that I know a lot about. And, the fan base is there. So let's do that. So we were about to launch it like October of 2019, actually, I think is when we first were like trying to push for it. And then I pushed back and I was like, let's wait. And then I didn't know that saying let's wait in October 2019 meant January 2021. But I'm glad we didn't launch it because I am of the belief that you shouldn't ever just like produce content just to produce content. Like, you have to have something to say. You have to give people a reason to listen. Like, people aren't going to listen just because you're talking, so it would have been really difficult to get through an entire year in the complete drought of Marvel content with any sort of Marvel centric podcast. So yeah, we're going to launch it. My goal is to make this kind of like a super laid back, fun environment for guests. Like, I want to have Kevin Feige on there, but I want him to know like this is like laid back. I'm not just going to grill you with like, who's Keanu Reeves playing? What's this? What's that? When's this movie coming? I will throw those questions at him. Yes. But I just want to have fun. Like, I want to see the fan like in these cast members and filmmakers and stuff. I want them to let like their inner fan out and like, say some stuff that's going to get Stan Twitter fired up.
That's like the best part about like interviewing like actors and actresses and like directors, because look, when you can find those people that are really like in love is not the right word, but just energetic about what they're doing, it is so much fun, and they want to talk to you about it. Like, that's the greatest part about it. So like, there's a lot of stuff you could do there with that.
Absolutely. I mean, and so often I feel like they at like a press junket or something, a lot of these actors and filmmakers just get asked the same questions all day long, and when they get a question that they actually want to talk about, you can just tell It's a new question, it's something fresh, and it's something they're interested in. You can just tell they're enjoying it. So, I mean, we might even have like I'm trying to get like Tom King to come on, the guy who wrote the Visions comic for that recent run, and like just different comic creators who might have their story being adapted or anything like that. Like I think it'd be fun. Maybe even fans. I don't know. We're gonna have fun with it and see what works and see, what people respond to, because I've never hosted a podcast before. So I think I have a lot to learn about it. I'm gonna be listening to the audience for a lot of people. If it sucks, let me know. Like I need y'all.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like,
the guy we had on our own show who was nice enough to come on sucks.
No, well, first of all, I appreciate y'all having me, but second of all, if it sucks, I need to know so I can make it better.
Yeah.
You're not, you know what I mean? But just be gentle. But
very much. Have you watched Ted Lasso?
Part of it. I heard it's amazing, but I don't have Apple TV.
Oh, it's super funny. But he has a line where he's walking with like the equipment manager, and the equipment manager has just like gotten dressed in like a suit, and he's like, he's like, how is it? And he's like, oh, he's like, are you the type of person who just likes to, be told if he has stuff in his teeth? He's like, yeah. He's like, that suit looks terrible. Let's go get you a new one. Like
that's what I need.
Yeah, like
that's
that.
Exactly what I need.
Like, we'll let you know.
Very brotherly.
Yes. Yeah. I'll tell you for sure.
Yeah.
I tried to listen to that hour. I made it 10 minutes and it was garbage. Try something else.
Please try again. Will you do like an episode a week, or how many episodes are you thinking about trying to do?
I think we're going to do every Friday. That's the goal. So it's interesting because I just, I took when I thought WandaVision was only 6 episodes long, I took a week off of work after that to go away with my girlfriend for a while. And then I found out it's 9 episodes. So I don't know what I'm going to do for episode 7, but I'll have to figure that out because I can't be switching it up like that so early. Got to be committed.
Yeah.
But yeah, the goal is every Friday, and there's so much Marvel content coming that I think essentially the structure is going to be like a recap of the Disney Plus show or movie that comes out that week. And when there isn't one, chances are there will be like a Peacemaker episode or the Suicide Squad or the Mandalorian or Ahsoka or something that I'm interested in, because the way I see it is like my co-hosts, we are the target audience. People like us are the target audience. So if we're interested in it, chances are people might also be interested in it. So we're gonna, if there's a void, if there's not enough news or there's no new episode or movie on a given Friday, then we might just play a game or have a guest on or do something different. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Getting like the comic book creators would be badass because you don't see that a lot. Like you don't get to see them talk about how their work is adapted into.
Yeah, I got to talk to Jim Starlin at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. And he wrote Infinity Gauntlet and he co-created Shang-Chi, and like just hearing his perspective. He's also like so like tremendously humble to the point where he's like, I don't even give me credit. I don't know why you guys treat me special. I'm like, yo, because
So you see today you got the first proof or like the first logo that you guys have for the podcast.
Yeah, they actually had to send me a message like, hey, we know you share everything on Twitter. Keep this a secret for now. Because I go straight to Twitter with everything. But they have to they just sent it. We all, like me and the whole team here, I'm actually looking at it. We agreed on it, and it's cool. It just says Phase Zero. I'm not spoiling anything, but it's cool. I like it, and it's in the colors of the University of South Carolina. They didn't know that when I snuck those colors in there. That was my goal. So that's where. What's that?
That's a good segue, actually. I was going to say before we let you go, I had to ask. You are a huge South Carolina fan. How enjoyable was New Year's Day watching Clemson get crushed?
That's the best way to start the year. 2021 is already exponentially better than 2020 when Clemson loses on a national stage. You'll love to see it. Are
you excited for Beamer?
Yeah, man, anybody but Muschamp. I'm not going to lie. I like Muschamp as a person. I don't like him as a coach. I don't think he's ever been cut out to be a head coach, which is tough. Because he recruited some amazing talent, and then we just didn't do anything with the talent he put on the field. It's tough.
But that's one of the things where he got fired from Florida, and then South Carolina picked him up. And when he got picked up, I was like, I don't get a retread like
was
that.
Was Florida his first head coaching job?
Yeah,
because he came from Texas as
defensive coordinator in Texas under Mac Brown. Yeah. So it just felt like a weird hire.
Yeah, and he's a defensive specialist who apparently lets up like 40 points a game against Vandy. I don't know.
No,
there's only so much you can do.
But I think Beamer is a hell of a coach. I've talked to a lot of the players who were in school there. I was in school when Beamer was an assistant coach, and I had a lot of friends who played for him. And I've talked to a few of them. One is coaching at Tennessee. A couple of them are in the NFL now, and a lot of them like want to go work for him, and they think that they really believe in him being a viable candidate. And I trust these guys; they would know much more about it than I would. So,
Yeah,
I hope he recruits well and just puts us. I hope we beat Clemson in the next few years because I hate those guys from the upstate.
I mean, you'll probably have a chance hopefully soon because Lawrence is going to leave, but
God only knows what 5-star they have behind him. Like,
yeah,
we're huge South Carolina, well, not like the state of South Carolina. He's from South Carolina.
I was born in Columbia, so
we.
Nice.
So like, when I saw you tweeting about Clemson losing, I just laughed. I was like, that's hilarious. Like,
I got the South Carolina right up here. It's the only sports thing in the whole man cave is the South Carolina portrait up there.
You're gonna try and go to? Didn't you go to a game this year, or are you gonna try and go next year?
I went to one game this year, and I was a little nervous about it because we haven't been outside much, but it was they sold 20,000 tickets. It didn't sell out, and it's an 85,000 seat stadium.
Huge.
So it felt like so empty. It was weird. Yeah, it was weird to be in a game this year. I mean, it was nice. Like we lost, we suck, but it was nice to be in a game. It's just like. It was I don't know. I went to 2 games this year actually. I went to the Tennessee game. We lost that one, and I went to Texas A&M. We lost that one real bad. So but it's just weird to be there with it so empty because when I was in school, I was there for the glory years, man. Spurrier, 11 win seasons.
I bet that was a blast. Like, were you there when Clowney was there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Clowney. Oh, what an interesting person Clowney is. Oh my God, he was made to be a football player.
Yeah, the dude's a beast. Like they were showing the play from the Outback Bowl where he just blows up the Michigan running back, and I was like, oh my God, I'd forgotten about that.
He's a killer, dude.
Legend has it that guy's helmet is still flying.
Yes, it's still rolling across the ground at the Outbacks or whatever stadium that's played at.
Yeah. Hopefully, in a few seasons we'll get back on it.
Yeah, well, North Texas will never do that.
At least next year, hopefully they can beat Tennessee. Like that's bare minimum. Like just beat Tennessee.
Do you guys have to play Vanderbilt?
Yeah, that's like our one, especially in a season like this where it was all SEC. That's our one game that we're like, all right, well, we'll win that one.
Yeah, that's the threshold. Like if you ever lose to Vanderbilt, that's when it's like, okay, that's a new rock bottom.
Well, when we were under the Spurrier era, we beat Alabama when they were number 1 in the country, and then the next week lost to Kentucky.
Yeah,
dude.
Dude, we
just love college football so much,
classic
man.
South Carolina.
Oh my God.
Like they shave years off of my life. This team.
Yeah,
they are the reason I'm gonna die young.
It's pretty close to being a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
So.
Oof. Yeah.
We know your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up an Eagles fan, but I've since kind of transformed into a Titans fan.
They're having a good season, actually.
Yeah. I live in Nashville now, so it's fun to root for them, especially now they're good. And Derrick Henry and Clowney's on the team, but Derrick Henry is just an animal. Let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather try to run the ball past Clowney or tackle Derrick Henry?
Tackle Derrick Henry. For sure.
Oh.
Yeah, only because like you go for his feet. That's the only thing that you'd like even stand a chance at. Jadeveon Clowney is gonna literally break your ribcage.
Right.
Like it's not gonna end.
There's no way for me as a 5'6" male to get past him without like
dying,
without getting seriously injured. Yeah. There might be a way where I could like lasso.
What about you?
Oh man, I think I might try to run past Clowney because at least like I could like try to sidestep him. Henry,
if you got speed on the outside.
Dude, I feel like Henry, I watched a dude, I think it was a dude for the Steelers. He stood up Henry, like he stopped him on the goal line, but he broke his collarbone. Like he made it stop, but he was out for like the next 3 months or the rest of the season because it cost him his health.
He literally like threw Josh Norman one play. Like he's an animal, dude.
As he was running full speed the other way.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
How come do neither? Like
no, yeah, like preferably neither would be better, but you know. Well, this has been a blast, man. Thank you so much again for taking the time. You've got the podcast coming out January 15th, phase 0. Is it going to be all platforms?
all platforms. I think we're going to record live on Twitch, and then it's going to go live onto all platforms. That audio will go up. It'll be the comicbook.com Twitch, which is twitch.tv/comicbook. And if I'm lying about that, I'm sorry. But yeah, it'll be available where all podcasts are, and it'll be fun, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. You guys look like I watched a couple of your bits on YouTube and stuff, and it looks like you guys have had some cool people on here, and you have fun with it. So keep it up, guys.
Yeah, it's been fun here.
It's the best thing about doing a podcast. You just kind of get to talk forever long about everything that you love. So we're excited for you. We know that you're going to kill it. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, if you have any tips, just send them my way.
Yeah, we'll shoot you a message. I appreciate it, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good one.
You too.